Hi friends, how are you? And hope you are fine and you are paying your attention to the development, whether that is political development, economic development, or social development, or what kind, or any kind of things happening around you. And today, in today's discussion with you, I will try to discuss an article written by Praveen Chakravarty. This article has been published by the Indian Express yesterday on 3rd of May 2025. And this article has been written in the backdrop of the decision of the central government, or we can say the Cabinet Committee on Political Affairs, to enumerate caste in coming caste census. And the topic of this article, heading of this article, is the Telangana tutorial. This is very important article, and you must read if you have access or subscription to the Indian Express. And in this article, this is very relevant article to understand various aspects of the caste census and how the caste census in different states, especially in Telangana, has been held. So you need to understand. So friends, I will not take too much time, and I would like to say few words about the Praveen Chakravarty. Who is he? Praveen Chakravarty is the convener of the government of Telangana's expert committee to study socio-economic SEEEPC survey, which is also known as caste survey in Telangana. And the full form of this is that social educational employment economic caste survey, which is simply or popularly known as caste survey. So what have been said by Mr. Praveen Chakravarty is very important in this article. I'm not discussing because he is belonging to Congress party. I am discussing this article because he has given certain information, certain things in this article which are very important to understand. And unless and until you are understanding these information and arguments posed by Mr. Praveen Chakravarty, you cannot understand the relevance and importance of caste survey in India. So in the first paragraph of the article, he has written, and he argues that the every CEO means Chief Executive Officer, or MD, Managing Director of the top 50 companies on the National Stock Exchange of India, which is also known as Nifty 50, belongs to the upper castes. Every one of the nearly 12,000 manual excavengers doing manual work for a living are Dalits. 95% of the founders of India's billion dollar startups are from the upper castes. 95% of the bottom of the rung gig workers in these startups are from the backward castes, Dalits, and minorities. This is the eye opening statement, and you need to understand this, right? So this is the English medium discussion, and this discussion will go on in the English medium. So you need to pay attention on this data or information, right? The second paragraph says these are the facts. He is claiming these are the facts, but are they mere coincidences, or is such a stark disparity across caste an outcome of discrimination, or is it because of the lack of opportunities or networks for the certain castes, or is it because of poverty condition at birth and not caste? He is raising certain questions that these kind of things are existing in India, whether because of these questions or something else. And he is going to answer these questions in subsequent paragraphs. So what he argues, the leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi has long believed that these are not the mere coincidences, and answer can be got only through a detailed caste census, which he has termed as X-ray of Indian society. So what he is saying? He is saying that no, it is no coincidences, it is not a mere coincidences, and its answer will come only through the caste census, through which we can know the various caste, their occupations, their control over the resources, why Dalits and OBCs and deprived sections of society are not finding any place in top order of the corporate sector, why some persons are doing only scavenging works, why upper caste are not doing, why lower rung of the gig workers belong to the deprived sections of society, why in startups 90% of the startups are being controlled by the upper caste. So he is saying that that is why Rahul Gandhi is saying the caste census is X-ray of Indian society, and without caste census we cannot understand the real status of different caste groups and different classes of Indian society. And he further says in this article that Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the RSS have long believed that while these may be India's ugly truths, they are not worth pondering over, and having dismissed the idea of caste census as divisive and regressive until a few days back. So what he is saying? He is saying that despite this reality, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and RSS are not thinking that this is the serious matter, right? But all of a sudden they have recognized it, and they have announced, they have decided that they will incorporate caste enumeration in the caste census. So he is making allegation on the Prime Minister and RSS. In the next paragraph, he argues that on 30th, on April 30, the Modi government did a somersault and announced its intent to conduct a caste census by enumerating caste in the next census exercise, but didn't especially specify timelines and the process, the when and how of it. Politics aside, there are key learnings from a recent experience. So he is saying that the government of India is not providing timeline. Government of India is not providing the processes. That there is no detailed timeline and other details that how caste census will be conducted. And now he is going to refer certain things from the Telangana caste census, and that is it. He says that 3.5 crore people across 245 subcastes, 74 points of information on each, information collected by 1,03,889 enumerators visiting the every household across 33 districts and 94,261 blocks in 2 months. The 74 field range from demographic, social, behavioral, discriminatory, educational, occupational, economic and political to caste related informations about every individual or household. This was the Telangana 2024 social, educational, employment, economic caste, in short SEEEPC survey, colloquially referred to as the caste census, which was concluded in February 2025. Subsequently, the government of Telangana appointed an expert group to study this extensive data set and submit a report of its finding and interpretation. So what he is saying, he is giving the description, the factual description of the caste census done by the Telangana government. It is the detail, and you must know. You must know the methodology. You must know the detailed work of the expert group or a group which conducted this, you can say, very technical and very mammoth exercise. So he is giving the factual data, factual information about the caste census done by the Telangana government. In next paragraph, he argues that the Telangana SEEEPC survey is perhaps the most detailed and rigorous such exercise conducted in India since Mandal Commission's field survey in 1980. So he is giving description of Mandal Commission also, and he is underscoring the point that to put this in context, the Mandal Commission report, which is rightly held as golden standard for caste census, surveyed 50 lakh people out of a population of 35 crore. Then he is saying that when Mandal Commission collected this information, the India's population was 35 crore, and out of 35 crore, 50 lakh people were surveyed by the Mandal Commission, and it is regarded as gold standard of caste census. So the Mandal Commission collected 11 points of information on each. Means on each parameter Mandal Commission collected 11 information, which was remarkable effort for 1980. But the Telangana 2024 exercise is several hundred times larger in scope, size and scale than the Mandal Commission survey. While S triple EPC is called a survey for legal reasons, empirically it is a census that covered 98% of the entire population of the Telangana. So he is also replying to a question raised by Modi cabinet minister Ashwini Vaibhavji, who was giving the press conference, briefing the press conference and announcing the caste census, right? So he was saying, he was arguing, Mr. Besno was arguing that the survey done by the census done by the states are merely a survey because census is in union list. So if it is in union list under article 246, it is matter of union government, it is subject of union government, on which union government will do the census exercise, right? In next paragraph he is furthering his argument, and the author of this article is saying, if the every purpose of embarking on a caste census is to gather insights into social disparities and craft policies based on data and evidence, then quality and accuracy of information collected collected uh, uh, collected in the exercise, means censor exercise, is vital. I am reading that paragraph. Please note that. So three broad analytical framework used to study Telangana society are the share of population. This is very, very important. Try to understand that on which points Telangana caste survey was focusing. And these are the three parameters. And what is that? Telangana society are the first, the share of population, means which caste group has particular share, how much share to the population. This is the first parameter. Second is the share of participation, and the author is explaining in next paragraph. So try to understand these three parameters on which Telangana caste survey was conducted. And first one is that share of population, second one is share of participation, and third one is the share of representation of each social group. Now he is explaining these phrases. Share of participation refers to share of educational, occupational, economic attainment of each social group, right? And share of representation refers to the power of social networks of each social group in various facets of society, such as politics, governments, business, media, and judiciary, right? So I will once again repeat this definition of you can say share of participation, and share of representation. So what is the meaning of share of participation? The share of participation refers to the share of educational, occupational, economic attainment of each social group in Telangana, and the share of representation refers to the power of social networks of each social group. So which kind of networking they have, how those networks are functioning, and on the basis of those networks, what is the representation in field of politics, governments, business, media, judiciary, etc. So in the next paragraph, he is saying that the contrary to popular belief, a caste census is not just an enumeration of population by various caste groups. This is very, very important. This is very, very significant point. So contrary to popular belief, मीन्स जो लोग विश्वास करते हैं उसके उलट है, कास्ट सेंसस इज नॉट जस्ट एन इनुमरेशन ऑफ पॉपुलेशन बाय वेरियस कास्ट ग्रुप्स, राइट? So what is this? So he is further explaining. So caste census is a detailed and scientific exercise to collect information to glean a holistic picture of living condition of the people. So according to him, according to his definition, the caste census is detailed and scientific exercise to collect information to understand the holistic picture of living conditions of the people, right? The design of questionnaire is the most critical aspect of this exercise, but the social, geographical, and cultural diversity of India makes it very complex and challenging task. For example, parameters such as intercaste marriage, which is best understood only by representative of each caste in each district, can reveal a lot about social mobility as Telangana experience shows. In the next paragraph, so each paragraph is very, very important, right? What I think is that the each paragraph elaborated and explained by Praveen Chakravarty is very important to understand the caste census and its various aspects. It is well written and well explained. So in this paragraph, next paragraph, he is saying that similarly, it is also clear that the self-reported income, land or assets in a census can be unreliable for analysis as people tend to underreport. The questionnaire cannot be scientifically designed without involvement of citizens group, sociologists, anthropologists, historians and civil society organizations to understand local conditions in every district in the country. That is what Rahul Gandhi meant when he urged the Modi government to conduct a people's census, as was done in Telangana, and not a bureaucratic census. So, what happened to SECC socio-economic caste survey should not be repeated. So, what he is suggesting is that there must be people's census. There must be involvement of civil society, sociologists, citizens group, anthropologists, historians, and civil society organization, and it should not merely be confined to the bureaucratic understanding of the census, right? So we need to move towards people's census. So he is arguing, and this is very fantastic point, that the involvement of every section of society is very important for a successful conduct of caste census. So in the next paragraph, the he says that the politicians and media commentators often obsess only over the share of population of each caste group. He is also showing the limitation made by or limitation showed by politicians and media groups, and he is saying that only the number of population of each caste group is not important. What is more important is the label, the trend, the distance of disparity among various caste groups. If a greater percentage of children of illiterate parents of one caste group has become graduates than those of another caste group in the same category, it indicates greater educational, social, economic mobility regardless of the share of the population of each. Or if one group is doing better economically, but it is being discriminated against socially and culturally by not being allowed to visit places of worship or being in common public places with other caste group, is calls for greater attention. So what he is arguing, he is saying that if some person has been educated, if some person has been socially upgraded or achieved certain social mobility, and if they are being not allowed to enter into the public places, whether it is temple, whether it is road, whether it is well, so it is problematic. We need to pay attention towards that. Like in case of Dr. Ambedkar, he was well educated, but he was not, and his caste members, his groups were not allowed to enter in the temples to take water from the well, pond. This need to be considered, as it has been argued by Mr. Praveen Chakravarty in this part. He is also saying that a well-conducted, rigorous, objective, transparent caste census exercise can reveal such rich qualitative information of the status and conditions of various caste groups beyond their just their population. So we need to have qualitative data, not only the quantity, not only the numbers of the of particular caste groups, rather their quality of life need to be surveyed in the caste census. This is very important point advanced by Mr. Praveen Chakravarty. In the next paragraph, he is arguing that there are those who are strongly believe one's economic conditions at birth are a more important determinant of the eventual outcomes than one's birth caste. On one's birth caste. He is pointing out to those people who are saying that who are saying that the main determinants of backwardness and other things should be the economic condition of the people at the time of birth. He is denying this. He is denying this, such as Prime Minister Modi. So whether he was rich or not to be determined at the time of birth. So he is making his argument against the Prime Minister Modi, and he is saying that there are those who strongly believe one's economic conditions at birth are a more important determinant of eventual outcomes than one's birth's caste, such as Prime Minister Modi, who has said that there is no caste but only poverty. So he is referring to those categories being highlighted and being said by our Prime Minister that only four classes are existing in India. That is youth, women, farmer, and poor. No other caste. He was talking about class. So he is saying that Prime Minister Modi was not recognizing the caste, the reality of caste. He was just saying that only poverty is there. A caste census is the objective way to settle this debate. So he is saying that no, this is not answer as suggested by Prime Minister Modi. Rather, the caste census is actual answer to these questions: who are poor, who are discriminated, who are underprivileged, who are underdogs, who are exploited and all, right? So the Telangana exercise clearly shows that caste is more significantly variable, more significant variable in shaping one's life outcome than birth poverty. So caste is very important. Caste is main determinant, right? So caste is determining. Caste is determining many things. Whether you will achieve certain things, whether you will be deprived, whether you will be respected, whether you will get representation, whether you will face discrimination or not. It is the caste which is a determining factor in all this. He is saying, he is arguing. So, what is the next paragraph of his writing, his article is that, and he is saying there is also a temptation to conflate caste census with reservation. And many people who are opposing caste census, who are opposing a reservation, are trying to give this logic. And of course, this is not a logic at all. This is the false narrative which is given in name of merit and efficiency. And he is saying this is also a temptation. It is a kind of temptation where you are trying to conflate this. You are trying to say that this caste census, this kind of survey is only limited to reservation. No, sir. Praveen Chakravarty is saying, no, sir. You are conflating this census with reservation, and he is saying that reservation is a policy tool to help oppressed groups overcome the handicap of a lack of social networks and adequate representation. So reservation is not all thing. It is not a poverty alleviation program. Rather, it is a policy tool to address the historical discrimination and deprivation of the certain social groups. And he is saying, what he is saying, the reservation is a policy tool to help oppressed groups overcome the handicap of a lack of social networks and adequate representation, which is done historically. It is not a result of certain god and certain things. Rather, it is a result of a system dominated by certain caste groups, right? So, a caste census is a scientific and empirical exercise. He is saying that the caste census is a scientific and empirical exercise, and the reservation and caste census are not the same. The Supreme Court, he is referring the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court in several judgments has ruled that the mere definition of a caste as backward is not enough to justify further caste-based policies. The Supreme Court has consistently held that if a rigorous data, empirical evidence, and analysis done by the experts shows the extreme backwardness of certain caste groups, then such caste legislation is justifiable. And in that sense also, caste census is very, very important. Unless and until caste census is being done, the real backwardness cannot be determined. And we don't know why after the independence this caste census has been withheld, has not been done. And now, after so many years of independence, the decision has been taken. So, in the last paragraph, the author Praveen Chakravarty is arguing that the Modi government's sudden and surprising decision to conduct a caste census is a significant effort towards data and evidence driven policy making that must be welcomed. And I am regularly saying in my videos that this step must be welcomed by everyone of this country, right? And that should be welcomed. But for this to be a meaningful exercise to finally annihilate the caste as B.R. Ambedkar desired, the Union Caste Census exercise must be undertaken in a bipartisan, transparent, and objective manner. So, in order to annihilate the caste system in India, we need to do it in bipartisan manner, transparent manner, and objective manner. And we should not commit the same mistake which was done during SECC survey, which is Socio-Economic Caste Census. And that is why, due to opaqueness, due to non-transparency, that data was not released. So, for a successful data-driven, evidence-based policy making, the caste census is essential. Caste census is important in order to know the representation of different sections of society in the resources of the nations. In my several videos, I have said that this caste census is very crucial for alleviation of poverty, removing the poverty, ensuring representation of different caste groups in the resources of the society, resources of the state, for their representation, for their welfare, for their justice, and especially for attaining the goals of the constitution. So friends, this article is very important, and this article has been published by the Indian Express, written by Praveen Chakravarty on 3rd May 2025, after the announcement of caste census by Cabinet Committee on Political Affairs. So with this, I will conclude the discussion of this article, and you must go through this article. Every paragraph of this article is very important, and it has been written in you can say in well explained manner. It is very lucid, very simple language has been used, and it is very simple to understand. The information given, argument given in this article is very fantastic. You must read it. So with this, let me complete this discussion today, and thank you so much for your support, and I hope that you will like my video, you will like my efforts, and you will share my video and subscribe my channel. So with this, let me conclude this discussion. Thank you so much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Jai Samvidhan. Thank you.